Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 14. We're in the first European group stage, and we're getting started right now with the first match in our next best of 3 for today. Just saw Fnatic come out on top of Vex Gaming. Very close in those matches, but nonetheless 2-0 for Fnatic. Now we go into our second one of the day between Vincere and PiTER. And to be completely honest, I don't know a whole lot about PiTER. I was watching them. I got this match info last night. I was trying to do some research, and it turned up a bit empty. Obviously a Russian team, and they seem to be having quite a bit of experience in the Russian scene from what I was able to check out in the whole Eastern European scene. But unfortunately, I don't follow that very closely, so I wasn't able to scrub a whole lot of info for you guys in regards to what exactly you can expect from them today. And also a correction before we do get started. I might be wrong on this one, but for anybody who really takes their matches seriously. The player that's currently in the game known as Infinite Sadness, I believe that is known as, I believe he's Waterfalls. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm sort of just looking at his photo on Half-Life TV and looking at his photo on his Steam profile, and they kind of look the same. So I'm going to go by that and assume that his name is Waterfalls, not Infinite Sadness. But that's a bit off the point, of course, going up against Vincere. This will definitely be a fairly heavy... Apologies, this will definitely be a match that I believe will be fairly heavily favored in their favor, and we'll really just have to wait and see how they do, as I don't really know what else to expect here from the PiTER team, considering I have not had too much to watch. Spaze, of course, having some experience playing for the Russian team in the World Championship. I do know a little bit about him, but beyond that, nothing else. However, this play from Drop is going to start days off for these players, and it's going to go great. As we can see, their face crack catches one player on the rotate there, too. That's going to shut down C's, and already, I'm surprised to start things off right from the beginning here. So PiTER, they're going to start things off very well for themselves by picking up 2 kills. None get traded, but Guardian pushing forward, catches one, but has to rotate the aim, and is not going to be well enough on this one. So that's going to shut down another player now from Navi's side, and as well, Ubik is going to find yet another one there. That's going to take out Zeus. And as they move into this site, JMQ is going to go for that plant, just leaves Edward alive, and there's not a whole lot that he can do here. Working over for this 1-on-5 situation, as Navi kind of got shut down right from the beginning. Great angles being held here by the PiTER players, and just not a whole lot that they were able to do to resist a lot of the pushes that were coming in from these guys. So with that said, Edward's going to be able to scrub through with at least 1 kill over here, as that's going to go back over onto Waterfalls. Will take him down, and beyond that, he's going to sit here, fall back a little more. Catches a second one over there on a face crack. And now the rest of them, unfortunately, I don't think are going to directly challenge him, so he's going to move away from this one. He's going to let the round, of course, go into his teammate's favor. And with that said, they'll pick up the pistol, and this is going to start Vincere off a little bit behind. But again, keep in mind, it's Cobblestone, at least for a lot of European games, it definitely does tend to favor a little bit more over towards the T side there. So it's not too surprising at all to see them picking things up, especially with the route that they went towards their 2 drop. Especially with just the pistols in play, it can be a little bit hard for the players on Vincere to hold unless they get really good with those opening shots. But Navi are not going to take that without responding to it, and they're actually going to go very aggressively into the second round buy. Edward specifically goes right over here and goes for the Mag 7 buy-up. Flamey, same story, not going to be Mag 7, but he does go for the Nova. However, this nade comes in. That's going to do a whole lot of damage. They can't get the stack going that they wanted to go for, so Flamey's just going to have to sit down and work with that. Waterfall is also picking up another kill, and another nade drops down to do a little bit more damage, but they don't expect him. Unfortunately, that shot not connecting to where it needs to, and the second shot misses completely, but he jumps up, gets the headshot over on his Spaze, and then Ubik's going to be able to shut him down directly. After that, he moves in, he picks up a second one over here on his Zeus, and then you've got moving in there once again. That's going to be Waterfalls doing some nice amount of damage, and he's over here to Guardian to try to hold things off from the chicken coop. He flashes himself a little bit, gets some nice damage up, but again, not going to be enough, especially with the shotgun being picked up now by Ubik, and now it's just going to be seized way back over here, trying to work for this. Yeah, it's just going to be seized, just trying to work for exits at this point. Is again, that round and that unfortunate buy-up there actually gives a gun over to the players here from PiTER. You take a look at what Ubik had brought into this game. He only actually went for a buy-up of a Tech 9, but now going out of this round, I picked up 3 kills, too, with that Tech 9. He's also going to be able to pick up a shotgun off of the corpse of his opponent, so it's going to be a good little thing to have here as they work their way into the site going into the next round. And as we take a look at over here at how exactly Seized is going to play this one out, he's basically just going to sit inside the shed and wait for the players from PiTER to work his direction. Nothing else really happening here, just Navi failing to defend their opening holds here, so PiTER is actually going to be able to pick up 2 very nice opening rounds. We might see them try to push towards Seized in a second here, as he's just sitting holding that singular angle, hoping he catches someone, and there we go. Now he's going to be able to take down Waterfalls at least, but he very quickly gets the heck out of there. Doesn't want to challenge that one any further. So beyond that, of course, we'll see that 2-0 go up for PiTER at this point, and nothing else to talk about beyond that much here, as Navi just has a little bit of trouble holding those angles, and PiTER goes full throttle, essentially, over there into the B site. to get their way in. And now from Na'Vi again, they're basically going to have the full save here because of the force buy up on the second round. A really force buy up there too, as they go for those shotguns, not just the pistol upgrades that we normally expect to see on that second round, and maybe a scout or two in the mix. We didn't see that at all, just the shotguns. Excuse me, and they only picked up, and although they picked up 1 kill, isn't really going to make too much of an impact here, so PiTER definitely has a very big advantage in terms of the economy at this point, and Navi's going to have to sit back and basically buy very little, if anything, this round. The 5-7 still sitting in the mix here, that being tossed over onto Seized, of course, because he managed to survive the previous round, but for the rest of the team, they buy up a couple CZs and P250s, and Seized is the only player that's really able to get anything else because he did stay alive. He goes for the armor buy, and they're going to go in here. They actually let them take the B site for free, as we didn't really mention that yet, and it's a 2-for-2 trade-up to open it up. Spades and Facecrack picking up the kills for PiTER, and then Edward and Guardian finding 2 more response kills as they work their way back into this. Guardian looking for more, but well, we're going to see Waterfalls picking up a kill over there onto Zeus. Some assistance coming in as I believe a little bit of confusion happens, but Guardian will be left, unfortunately, as the final player alive here once again. Trying to work his way back into the site, but Waterfalls is there. He's ready for that one and shuts it down very quickly with the AK. So with 3-0, a little bit more damage being done that time by Na'Vi, of course, and getting some players down and trying to keep the money low, but still, they're going to be at a pretty confident point at this round. And even when we look at the buy coming out from Na'Vi here, because of the way that they went for that second round buy, this one here in the 4th round is even going to be weakened a little bit here. Zeus, thankfully, because he does go for a FAMAS buy, he can at least get 1 molly for the team. The rest of them are just going for smoke HE grenades along with flash setups here, as unfortunately they're not really going to be able to stretch enough cash out for the other buy. But they all get armor here too, and that's a great molly. Gonna hold back the push out that comes out of PiTER by a big way, and I'm actually pretty surprised that they didn't actually kill him. But look at this player! Somehow Guardian is still alive, and he's still up and rolling as these kills come out. It's just an absolute slaughterhouse. Na'Vi, the second they get those guns in their hands, it just absolutely mess things up. And even I'm a little bit confused as to what transpired there. Is you can see that, unfortunately, Guardian sitting right over there towards those boxes. PiTER just rolls right up thinking they have an easy kill with that pop flash, and although it looks like initially they do, that nade comes in, just decimates them, and Guardian just unleashes hell onto them, shuts everybody down, and that'll be the first point going onto the board for Na'Vi directly after they lose 3, pretty dominantly to PiTER. And now, however, because of the fact that they went through those 3 rounds very cleanly, they'll be able to go right into another buy for themselves here. 4 AKs, 1 Galil sitting over there on the Facecrack. He's also got a Tech 9 being bought up for himself there too to work a little bit more dynamicism in terms of how he wants to push this, but they're going to work their way out here, and they catch C's. He's a little bit overexposed, so they're going to drop him down to 58, but very quickly he's going to be falling back there, getting out of harm's way at this point, moving away from the firefight, as it were, and he also is going to be able to smoke things off here over by this portcullis. And a nice bounce nade, too, to some more damage back over there to Spades. That's going to bring him down to 72 HP. As he, along with Guardian, now we're going to try to hold this long A approach. The rest of the team from PiTER not actually committed to this just as of yet. You can see C's trying to look for the opener, but unfortunately a nade goes right under his feet. That's going to bring him down to just 3 HP. Thankfully he's got the armor at the very least so he could survive that encounter, but if not, he would have been a dead man for sure there. That's almost a perfect nade there. It does pretty much max damage as it should have done. But for PiTER again here now, still trying to find that avenue with which they can use to push into one of these sites. There's an attempt, I believe, that was trying to be a pop flash in there so that a Guardian could work a push inside of midcon, but unfortunately it blows up right in Guardian's face, and that alerts them to the presence of, that alerts JMQ to the presence of these players too. So JMQ is actually going to get a free push over here onto the A site. That's been called as well, and JMQ is really going to push it in deep here onto this A site. They've called the rotate, not going to break things open just yet. Guardian also kills Waterfalls as he tries to work his way over here onto that B site. But more players again here. Ubik, I think, is still going to keep himself in this, and he's sitting right next to some of these players, but they've all taken control of that A site once again, and Ubik is still a factor as he's crept inside a drop. They don't even notice he's here yet, so he's just going to be able to move out for free. They have no clue he's working his way in here, and he's got a huge angle advantage too. Shuts down 1 and 2 right after that one, and looking for a third. He's going to grab it. Great play from him there, and that was just so perfectly set up. He waited inside of that smoke. Now again, back down over onto Edward at this point, trying to work for something, but there's nothing left to do. 1 on 3, he's got no utility. He's got to sit back. He's got to save. He's got a kit too. That's going to be a whole lot of money lost if he ends up dying here. He can get a little bit aggressive to work his way into T-Con steps to hopefully try and find something off of one of these players, but for the most part, I don't even think PiTER are going to want to go up against him there. They're just going to sit back. They're going to take their time. Not going to directly challenge him. They'll let him make it out of there with the M4s. The damage they needed to do has already been done, and they know that coming into that next round, that's really going to be probably potentially one of the only guns that they can have. However, the money from Na'Vi is actually a little bit better than that. When we take a look at Zeus, he's sitting at 4.4k. The decision has to come out, though, is whether they want to force it with 2, maybe 3 rifles in the mix, or whether they just want to let the rifle that they had brought in for the previous round be useful, or then just buy up pistols from that point forward. And they do make the more economical choice here just to go for the pistols, which I think I can agree with that pretty nicely. Zeus, who was sitting on 4 4K though, in order to equalize himself with a couple more of his teammates. He doesn't end up going for just the pistol buy. He actually picks up armor a little bit, so he has a little bit more stability into the mix here as well, comparatively to the rest of his teammates. But still, Guardian gonna have to be absolutely clutch on the aim here. He's got no armor to work with, so the second he gets tapped, his aim is just gonna be absolutely dog crap, and there won't be anything that he can shoot unless he gets really, really lucky. And as for the rest of PiTER now, they go back to pretty much the same setup that they've been favoring for quite a few of these rounds already, where they try to work their way into the A site here through just a default take. No one getting into drop as of yet, unfortunately, so not expecting much success there. And Seas as well goes for this blind push inside of the T-con, or inside of the mid-con there, to try and catch some of those players off. Not going to find it. And again here, also Zeus taking some more damage from Spaze now as they push in. Guardian does manage to sneak through with one kill. Not even sure when that happened, but he manages to find a kill over there on a face crack with a deagle headshot. But so far, that's really the only kill that's been had over here on the PiTER. And some nice, again, a nice overall amount of health points have been taken off of some of these players from PiTER, but when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it's still not going to matter that much. And again, there's another player now that's brought down below 30 HP. So there's 3 of those now on PiTER's side. JMQA, Waterfalls, along with Spaze, all sitting that low at this point, and Flamey is going to be the only player left alive. He might have an opportunity to take down what I believe is JMQA sitting right behind him, but Flamey's got no idea that he's in this area at this point. So as the bomb goes down, and as we sit here, it's actually Waterfalls, apologies, that's sitting over here challenging Flamey at this point. He's going to creep right up there and kills him. Almost thought we were going to see the response come out there from Flamey for a second, but he doesn't manage to correct it. That's going to shut him down, and he'll survive that encounter with just about 20-ish HP. I think he was sitting more around 15 as he's trying to boost his reputation up a little bit there, but I think he had a little bit more than that, a little bit less than that. However, PiTER now 5-1. Navi struggling a little bit here on their CT side of Cobblestone. As we take a look at what exactly they've been able to make through with a bye with this round, it's actually pretty good. I mean, they got the 2 SMGs in play because of those players being a little bit lower, but the players that even bought up rifles actually still have a decent utility kit in their arsenal too, so they're not really missing all that much. Just going to be troublesome to try and successfully use those SMGs properly. Edwards, though, is in a pretty good spot for this one. He's going to put himself back over here behind the box. Just going to try to play the close encounter in case there's a rush over here towards the broken wall to get up onto the platform and then onto the site from there. And then also Guardian will probably play things pretty closely too, back over here just outside of T-con. Hopefully catch some of these guys that may be rushing through there, because they've been doing that typical 2-3 setup for quite a few rounds now to try to work their way into that A site pretty easily. And there's no real challenge in that so far from Navi. Not a lot of aggression from them. They're just sitting back. They're going to take their time. Seas is going to sit over here just around the APC and look for a push to come from that direction. And he's in a good position, too, to counter on a push that could come out from T-con up the ramp. In case Guardian doesn't end up holding it very well, he can just move over to the other side of the APC and get himself in a good position to get out of that one. But Waterfalls will again find the opener. However, Zeus on a big flank angle here turns around but doesn't get the kill for some reason. And Facecrack is going to be able to shut him down. That was a good setup, but poor execution comes out of there again from Navi. And now, however, they are going to leave middle open for the taking as far as this is concerned. Guardian pushes in, but he's very, very loud with it. So Beak is going to be able to hear that one coming. He takes him out. Spaze moves in, shuts down Flamey. And now as the rest of them just try to hold this site, it's not going to look so good. As again, Seas will be the fire player alive, and Spaze will be able to take him down. He fired a little bit through that smoke, so they had a pretty good idea that he was going to be sitting inside of there. So it's just an easy spray down for them to execute him. And PiTER now again, 6-1 here, very much so ahead of this point of Navi. And Navi with a whole lot of trouble just holding. I honestly want to say that they're trying to get a little bit too aggressive with this one too, as they try to take, specifically the hot spots for me seem to be over towards A-long, the mid connector, back down over there underneath the bridge, and beyond that as well. There's also a lot of fighting that's going on back over there by the broken wall too. And Navi really like to challenge that right from the beginning. Also at the beginning rounds too, drop has been a pretty crucial point, but it's sort of gone away from that now. But Navi have really liked to challenge that earlier on in these rounds, and unfortunately it just hasn't been going all that well for them, because oftentimes, for one, they of course haven't had a lot of money. They've only gotten really 1 to 2 confident buy rounds so far this entire half, because their money management hasn't been the best because of the way that they've just been dropping these rounds left and right and haven't been able to respond to it on PiTER, and not a lot of saves either coming up from them. But again, aggression like this here doesn't usually pan out too well with them. However, they do have an opportunity to drop the bomb carrier here as they push forward. They're going to be a little bit too slow with it, so won't be able to catch them in time, because I think they were expecting a lot more of the players from PiTER to be sitting inside of the castle halls here. But that won't be happening. They'll be able to escape, and they've basically got a free take on the safe site now. The only player they've got to kill is Zeus, and he actually picks up one. It's a nice damage onto his second, but that's all he's going to be able to grab for the time being. And the race is on, essentially, here. Flamey trying to work in through T-con, try to catch these players, or mid-con, apologies, to try and get these players. A Beak, though, shuts him down. Spaze finds another one, and now it's just Edward again, all on his lonesome. He's going to get taken down, and that's an easy walk around from PiTER. Good innovation from Navi in trying to work around that and trying to do his best to shut some of these players down or catch them off guard on a flank, but Again, not a whole lot that they could have done from the beginning of that one, considering they had no armor buyups, just P250s for the most part, and there wasn't really anything else being added into the mix beyond that. Guardian, gonna go for the op this time, though, as they really need to get that power in, and Guardian, I don't think he's had a single round yet where he's had the opportunity to buy that, so he's gonna go right for it, and it's gonna be glass cannon, so it'll be a little bit of a high-risk one, but if he can pick up the shots and if he can impress, catch these players off guard, especially with his current position being taken, that could be a nice amount of impact. Everybody, though, from PiTER, as you see, is over there on the approach to A-Long, and also Waterfalls is going to be picking up another opening kill here for the players on PiTER, too. Now we try to get aggressive, same spot, back over here by Broken Wall, and already here, there's Waterfalls picking up one kill, maybe looking for a second, too, as he should have been able to hear Zeus getting himself over here to get behind the box on platform. And indeed, he is going to catch him, but the damage comes out first from Zeus there over there on the Waterfall, so he doesn't want to challenge it any further. Some more comes up, not enough to kill him, but it brings him down to a very low health pool. And for the rest of the team now, too, going to be on Guardian maybe just in a second here as the push comes out. Zeus will also finish off Waterfalls, as for some reason he does decide to re-peek that one, so he's unfortunately going to get dropped out there by one of the players from Na'Vi. That'll be Zeus picking up that kill, but that still only leaves things in an even trade, and that time we're getting very low. They're all just sneaking into this site at this point. We might have had a disconnect as well. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but it looks like there's a pause coming out from Waterfalls at this point. Actually, no, as far as I can tell, everybody's connected, but we'll see in a second here. But it brings it just down to JMQA, and Zeus will finish it off. So finally, there's another round for Na'Vi, too. Good stronghold. Guardian actually didn't really end up having to do all that much, to be completely honest. He held strong inside of T-Con there, and I think PiTER was aware of his presence, so they kind of had to avoid that. And they'd been pretty active around that area, at least to use that as a transitionary position to get themselves up the steps and over towards Long A, and just keep the players from Na'Vi out of there and from messing with them over towards Long A, too. As that time, though, they didn't really do much to try and stop him. He was able to keep hold of that for most of it. We saw a couple trades, but I think PiTER that time also got a little bit too aggressive for themselves. They tried to play that a little bit too far forward, and unfortunately that ended up costing them a little bit more. So I don't actually know what the pause is. I think Obik or something like that was having a problem, but I'm assuming it's been settled at this point, so we're gonna unpause in just a second. Oh. Okay. I've never seen players pause before in the middle. So it seems Obik really had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the half, because apparently that's the reason for the pause. I guess you could call that a technical pause if you think about it that way, but but I think they're ready to go now. So here we go, folks, right back into the game. And for Na'Vi now, coming off of the hinges of a first really good buy-up round here, it's still going to be a little bit weak because they lost still quite a few players, so we're looking at a couple of FAMAS buy-ups here. Those are going to be, of course, over on the Flamey and Seized. But the same story back over here on the PiTER now, where they're actually in a very good spot still here. The money, a little bit low when you take a look at, like JMQA, Ubik, and then as well as FaceCrack, they're still sitting a little bit low. But for the rest of the guys, they're pretty good, and even if we do see them drop another round here, I believe the money total should equate to enough to where they should be able to drop rifles for those 3 players. So they won't be broken for this round. I think after the next one, though, they might be in a bad spot. Losing bonus points will get to a point, too, where they can still buy through it. So they've actually put themselves into a really comfy position. But look at this from Edward. Only grabs one, though. Good response comes out there from FaceCrack. And now they're all working their way out over here onto the platform. They go count on Zeus being there, but he, too, only finds one. And now they're working in here. Flamey picks one up there, too. Drops the bomb onto the floor and finishes it off. Great hold from Na'Vi, shutting it down. Flamey picking up 2 kills, as does Edward there to hold things back over there by the site. And although PiTER tries to go for a big 5-man push, the trades then from Na'Vi there are going to be a little bit too strong, in addition to picking up the first kill without it being responded to for some time. And they end up winning it out there. Big play from them. And now they're really getting things back into this. This will be the last, probably the last buy-up round here from PiTER, of course. They do have full rifles, fully utility and everything because of those players sitting in excess, and they were able to drop the guns for those who needed it. But after this one, this is where things will get a little bit dodgy, and they'll either have to make a decision to force this one or save it. But Seized and Guardian already picking up 2 kills for Na'Vi at this point. Spades did get 1 response back over onto Seized after he killed one of his opponents, but still, that is still going to leave Na'Vi with a man up at this point, and JMQ is going to look to correct that back over here towards the drop as he tries to toss a nade down there to go for it, but Zeus with a perfect timing on that molly. He's going to stop that plan right from the get-go before it even begins. Edward nice and conscious here too, as the rest of PiTER might be looking to work their way out, possibly with a combination of drop and broken wall here in just a second. Space along with JMQ8, they're going to find their way down here, and they jump over into the CT con as well, but there's already going to be 1 kill being made there with a molly. For some reason, Edward just didn't catch that at all, and he's going to go completely dead. JMQ finds another one, and now just like that, PiTER have control of this matchup. They're working their way into the site. They still have to deal with Zeus, who's just outside a drop, but thankfully Space is able to catch him from up on top of the platform. Now it's on Guardian. There's 1 shot from him. Happy with it. He's going to fall back and doesn't want to try to push the envelope here, because he didn't really know where JMQ was initially, so that's a smart move, and that actually saves his life a little bit here. Now JMQ got to get this plant. He's still got quite a bit of time to work with, but he's going to go right for it just to be safe anyway, and Guardian realizes this, so that nade comes in, does a nice amount of damage. It's not really going to matter because he's still working for the SOP, but let's see, can he catch it? What the hell was that? He catches that flick shot out of nowhere. Shuts down JMQ. It didn't even look, I didn't even think he peeked as of yet. It didn't look like he was out of the wall. But he gets him anyway. Great play from Guardian. It gets a 3K, saves the round for Na'Vi. And although there's going to be heavy losses coming into play, PiTER will end up again here faltering a little bit, thankfully, because they are actually still in a decent spot here. They are going to be able to afford rifles through 3 of their players. The 2 after that, they'll have to go for Tech 9s, but with those, they can also get a nice amount of grenades stacked up behind them, though. So Na'Vi still looking very good to make that comeback happen here at this point. But they've got a couple more rounds before they can do so. However, Spaze again here finds the opener from PiTER. Zeus with the response, but he's way out in the open, so these drop players are going to make easy work of him. And more coming in, trying to come in there from the CT connector, but FaceCrack's holding strong at that angle. Good day, jumps in, does the damage, and then sees it finish off. Catches JMQA as well, as he's a little bit overexposed, but not going to be able to execute upon that as he was in the middle of a weapon switch. He's going to have to fall back, and oh, JMQ almost shuts down Z's there, brings it down to 42 HP. And a lot of this play is going to come into the hands of Guardian once again here, as he tries to push into that one. There's going to be a shot that goes over onto a beak that's going to take him out of the picture. JMQ now way stuck back over here, just on the broken wall approach, and Guardian's going to shut him down as well. So there you have it. Guardian again there comes in, makes the retake along with C's, and they're going to be able to close that out. And I apologize, guys. I don't have the capability to do replay at the moment. This is a very, in terms of production quality, this is a pretty gimped stream, because it's just me on my computer with OBS. So I haven't set up replays, nor do I have the correct overlays to do replays to begin with, so I won't be able to replay that. However, I'm going to hope that someone did a exclamation point shot on that one, and we'll probably see an odd shot post on Reddit in about like 2 minutes. So just go check Reddit, as you'll probably be able to find it there. But Na'Vi again on that strong comeback, 5-7 at this point, and Guardian getting super aggressive here. Now pushes out to the A long approach, takes one out there. That's going to shut Ubik down. Looking for a second, unfortunately not going to come out on top there, so he has to fall back a little bit more. And now he moves back over here, going to try to catch one inside of the mid-con, but he can't find it as of yet. However, he's going to move back up on top of the steps, now with some extra support coming back in there from C's at this point. And now for the rest of these guys, they're going to push forward once again, trying to catch some more of the players from PiTER. You can see them, that Molly goes down. That's going to do a lot of damage. And C's gets one, almost spraying down the second here, too. Bringing FaceCrack down to 73. Doesn't realize he's in, though. That's going to be trouble for Guardian now as he has to deal against it. Doesn't even see it creeping up on his left side. So FaceCrack is going to get the free kill there. Waterfalls also picks up another one over here onto Edward, too. So he's going to be able to find that one. And now it's just Zeus, Flamey, and Seized in a 3-on-3 against FaceCrack, JMQA, as well as Waterfalls. That bomb's still down, so they're going to have to fall back to pick that back up. And that should give Na'Vi a little bit more time to ground themselves here, too. As they even out the rotations, it does seem like they believe it's going to be... Oh, he doesn't even see him yet in the other room as of all here, as Zeus is going to move in. The X-ray kind of tricked me there. I thought he was in the same room for a second, but I don't even think he's realized that it's going to be... Waterfalls has already snuck his way into her drop there, so he's going to be able to grab a free kill over on his Zeus. Seized, however, will find the response with a headshot that comes back over there on a FaceCrack. So we're still very even, but that timer has gotten so low. JMQ has to be perfect with this execution. He's moving in. Waterfalls is going to be right behind him, but I don't even think there's enough time. He's got to just rush this plant. He's going to move in. Can he get it? Oh, he missed the jump. So no, it's not going to happen. JMQ needs to play some more KZ maps there, as unfortunately he's going to miss the jump over there to sit up onto the wall. Does find that nice little headshot there before it ends, so at the very least can do some more damage to the Na'Vi economy. But Na'Vi again will remain unscathed here, and they're making an absolutely monster comeback for themselves. They win the first gun round, drop 4 more after that, but now are on a 5-round winning streak. Really striking it back against the players from PiTER at this point. So PiTER now having a lot of trouble, and their money is really fluctuating in and out at this point as well here. So unfortunately, it's going to be rough working their way in. And now Flamey with the swag 7. 1, 2. Not going to get the third as Zeus finishes it off, but he does most of the damage anyway, so he should get the credit anyway. And as they move in here now, we can see Ubik's trying to get the kill there. The flash comes in on the Ember, but the great team support as Zeus will come in there, out from drop, picks up the support kill, and now Sadness, or apologies, Waterfalls is going to be the only player left alive. But Guardian again there. That was actually a pretty nice shot. We're on his POV, but you could see he sort of changed his view completely, shuts him down, and now it's 7-7. Na'Vi making an absolutely excellent comeback and potentially looking to lead things coming out of the first half here. And in terms of what exactly we can see from the buys from PiTER, not all that much. We got a lot of smoke, so they can make the take happen pretty nicely. But flashes, no mollies to force repositions here, so Na'Vi should be free to just sit wherever the hell they want to. The only thing that would maybe scare them off would be smokes or flashes, but I obviously don't think they're going to be really too imposed by that one. And Guardian already picked up the first kill, but oh, this big play comes out here from midcon. They're not expecting the rush to come out that quickly, and Guardian's going to be way out into the open, so that'll be another kill that they can pick up. Seas, though, picks up one, and as well, Zeus still holds strong here, too. That is picking them off from within the smoke. JMQ finally found one, but Flamey moves in, finishes off the final one, and Navi just shut things down after a bit of a rough start, and PiTER gets a good one. It does turn around very, very quickly for Navi, and they pick up, I believe that was like 7 rounds in a row towards the end there, and indeed it was. 7 rounds in a row. They did find one in between there. It was a little bit rough and was definitely looking like we might have been able to see PiTER swing a pretty hefty advantage, but Navi kind of got their feet planted on the ground. Same thing as Fnatic, as I don't know of how much experience they had playing versus PiTER. At least checking on like Half-Life TV and stuff, I couldn't really find any match results from PiTER previously. But just to talk a little bit more about PiTER here too, I think the only thing that I could find for them in terms of like notable matchups that they recently had was they had a pretty good game versus Titan and G2. They went pretty close versus Titan. I don't know how long ago these were because there wasn't actually a match page for these, but it was like they went 28 and 24 versus Titan, and they actually beat G2. 19 to 17 at a first overtime. So they've definitely scruffed against some pretty good teams before, and they've had some good results. But at least here now, it definitely seems like their T side fell a little bit short after Navi were able to get the gears cranking. And I think that's going to be the key here with PiTER, is starting it off strong and keeping it strong throughout the rest of the half, and just not letting Navi get anywhere. If they can win this pistol and move it forward from there, there's definitely going to be some good hope for PiTER to maybe swing this map away. But overall, I do think that they're relying a lot on that sort of team momentum to push themselves forward. And if they don't get that right from the get-go, then I've got a bad feeling that Navi are going to come ahead in a very big way and end this map before PiTER even really get a chance to do anything. But let's see, as the pistol round is well underway at this point. Only one player from PiTER actually going to be available to hold the A site here. And the only fake that'll be done back over here, and keep in mind too that nobody now watching drop, so Edward can get down there for free and line up an absolutely nasty flank. But this is good too, because they are going to catch on to the push very early before it even begins there. And Spade's already picking up one kill, but now in comes Ubik. He's going to be able to find maybe one kill. A little bit of trouble with that one, but FaceCrack also is going to fall as Navi tries to work in. There's Ubik though, picks up that one. Sees also finding another one onto the site, and he gets a second one there too. Looking for the third onto Ubik, and he's going to actually get it there. So a great play from Seas, up to 3 kills for him. And now it's just Waterfalls trying to work his way up here through the ramp to see if he can catch anybody else out and make this basically Mission Impossible style retake at this point. It's not going to be the best hope for him. He's trapped, they know where he is, and in comes Guardian with the Goosher. Shuts him down nice and easily, and now Navi sits at a very comfortable lead here and should be able to grow it too. They're at 8 points, should be able to maybe grow this to 11 unless we see a monster eco round coming out here from PiTER. It does look like, at least in the case of Ubik, they are going to go for the force buy this time though, just to try and force things up, and it's basically full 5-7s across the board with the exception of Waterfalls there, so they can get an extra smoke or flash or two here to hold off usual push angles so that Nautilus Vincier can't just run directly into the site there. But in terms of where exactly the push from Navi is going to be going, Flamey takes the risk with the sawed off, and this should be interesting because this is going to be a very hard gun to work with if you don't know what you're doing. Nice damage goes over there on the face crack, but he doesn't decide to push into this one too. He moves in though, finishes him off, and now as well he's going to pick up an extra pistol, so he's got a much better long-range gun to work with here too, which is interesting because he could have just gone with the Tech 9, but it pays off, picks up another kill, looking for this one too. For some reason, Space thought there was still someone in drop, and now he's going to do some damage. Doesn't finish him off as Space finally picks up that kill run to Flamey, but the damage has been done at this point. Guardian's also still on a rotate, but JMQ finds a quick way back into the site, so we can't work this flank as he's going to move in. Zeus needs a little bit of support as he's only sitting at 26 HP. The damage has been done. Guardian trying to line up the shot, but they're also pushing back in with that sawed off. Space though moves in, switches to the pistol, finishes off Zeus, and now it's going to be a one-on-one for control of this matchup here. Space creeping around with 36 HP. He's got armor for himself too. Again, he's picked up that shotgun, but Guardian playing this very cautiously, and he still has a lot of time to work with. The pop comes out, and Guardian is going to end up finishing it off for Navi. So although they'll be very, very close indeed, the players from Navi do end up coming out on top. It's a very expensive round for them, however. PiTER did a nice job of doing damage, but obviously with the force map, I think they were expecting to do, maybe win the round out there with especially with how close they got. But getting 4 kills, I think is not going to be anything too bad for these players. As it does, and you take a look at the money situation from Navi now, they're still a little bit low with the exception of both Guardian and Flamey, who had pretty conservative buys here. Flamey again, I think he was the one that may have purchased the shotgun in the previous round too, and it does look like that's the case. So he was pretty light to begin with, and it's the same story, of course, for that layer player over there that managed to survive the end of the round because, well, he didn't die, so there's that. And as for FaceCrack, he opens it up with a nice USP headshot. Flamio's worked out a drop, picks up one shot, can't connect it though, and now they wrap around him, so far it's 3 for none here coming out from PiTER. Finally, Guardian works his way and picks up one, and gets that second one over there, and a JMQ! How the hell did he find that kill? And now, the players from PiTER are just stuck back here, an absolutely crazy shot from Guardian, gets that headshot with a swinging, absolutely max speed, 180-degree headshot there, shuts him down. FaceCrack is scared as hell to try and peek him here. Now this play's gonna go out, but he's gotta be careful there. For some reason, Waterfalls to take the shot, and Guardian is is going to shut him down now. Edward's also in position for this one, gets one more, and is going to try to shut down Ubik, and he finishes it off. No plants even needed for Na'Vi. Edward goes crazy, along with Guardian just sitting in there. They hold that site after they take it. A little bit rough on the B take, but the A take is flawless. And that's a big screw up there by Waterfalls, as he could have just shut that down right from the beginning, but he was way too slow on pulling the trigger, essentially. And Guardian was able to pick up yet another kill off of that, but that's two absolutely insane shots from Guardian here, just in this one game alone. So now we'll see from PiTER again. They go for a confident buy up now, making their way over here to the 4th round. Able to get all 5 rifles, not enough in the bank as of yet in order to buy up with an op just as of yet. But for the rest of the team here, 4 AKs. They've got an op sitting over here on the Guardian. And Guardian is actually going to lead the charge for the team right now with JMQ holding over here in this little cubby, but that's going to get shut down. Flaming gets the response, as JMQ did pick up 1 kill, but it'll be a 2 for 2 at the end of it, as Guardian manages to maintain his life. And that bomb as well, they don't even see it sneaking in as of yet. Seized is coming in Seized is coming in here through mid-con this entire time, and I don't even think anybody's had a chance to catch him as of yet, so PiTER may even have made the call that this may be a fake. They have had to rotate FaceCrack in just to cover it, but FaceCrack hasn't been having the best game, so I imagine, yep, he's going to get shut down pretty quickly there by Edward. And now they've got full site control, and these final 2 left from PiTER. Not a lot of hope left for them to actually hold things off here at this point, so I imagine they're just going to go for an exit positioning and look for the saves, and that looks like it's going to be exactly what happens. Waterfalls goes over here, pushes towards A long. They could move back in, as they've got a smoke and a couple flashes, but it would be very, very risky to do this because they don't have a single clue what's actually happening on the site. And yeah, with Guardian picking up that shot over there onto Waterfalls, that's going to end any chance at all for the players on PiTER getting back into this site. So they're going to have to sit back. That'll be the 12th point going into the hands of Na'Vi. They now sit quite a few rounds ahead of PiTER at this point, with a confident about 5-round lead, as they'll be once Na'Vi picks up this one. And as for Beak, he's going to have to look to save. I think he's pretty safe, to be honest. Everybody here from Na'Vi still is pretty far away from him, and he's sitting in garden too, so he's got that big old rock to guard his body in case players do decide to come over there from the tower. But that's not going to be happening. He keeps himself alive. And for PiTER again, they're unfortunately going to be stuck in a save here, as Na'Vi again just continue to make these very aggressive pushes. Very similar to what PiTER was doing, to be honest, but it's obviously going much, much better for these players as they just try to work themselves over onto the A. Pretty heavy on the B pushes there too. It's been pretty even when you take a look in terms of how many times they pushed A and B. But for Guardian, he's actually going to leave himself alone with the op, as PiTER actually pushed a couple players up to challenge him potentially in a few moments here. They're not going to commit to it, as they think they were in that position just in case we saw a rush towards A long. But that won't be coming their way, and they actually rotate a lot. They're going to fully rotate over here into the B site, and this should counter it out beautifully, as now there's only 1 on that A site. That's going to end up being Ubik there that has to try and hold that with the M4, but the rest over here from PiTER, they've only got pistols, so it's going to be rough on the hold. Zeus finds 1 and 2, and then there's Edward with a 3rd. Not a whole lot that the players here from PiTER are going to end up doing. And just like that, it's down to Ubik again, who's going to have to run away, pull up his pants, and to God that he can stay alive, as he is now once again going to be the only player with a rifle. And just trying to look and see if they'd be able to buy after this one. Pretty sure they should be in a pretty good position. They're on the full losing bonus now, or they will be after they drop this round. And you look at the 3K, 2Ks amounts that are sitting on the PiTER players, they're definitely going to be in a pretty good spot to go for a buy-up. And it should be a confident one too. They'll get the op back and play again, which they I don't think they've had an opportunity to do that just as of yet. So now that'll be a factor that comes into the mix here too. Edward is positioned to try and find some of these guys, as they do have him boxed in. If they push this angle, they can definitely find him. Zeus will be the first player to challenge him as he rolls back out, and Zeus is indeed going to get that kill, so no saves at all coming out from PiTER. It's going to be a full rebuy. They can afford it, but obviously having that M4 in the mix would have been very helpful, and it's going to be a double op setup now coming out from these players, considering the money they had. JMQ, as well as Waterfalls, are going to be picking that one up. FaceCrack, along with Ubik and Spaze, are going to be the 3 players to find the M4s. And we'll see just how well they do. And I want to highlight this one too, because I did take a little bit of a look in terms of like who statistically was seeming like some of the best players from PiTER coming in this matchup. I'm a bit surprised just looking at that FaceCrack actually hasn't been doing so well in the previous matchups. Just looking at some pure stats, FaceCrack was actually a pretty big stat leader, but hasn't been able to show his face all that much here today in that regard. However, JMQ is going to pick up those 2 kills there with the op before Flamey is able to trade him back out. FaceCrack, though, just as we were talking about him, now finally gets another kill for himself. Guardian tries to find that one, but he misses, and Spaze is going to be able to pick up an easy shot there in order to take him out of the play. And just like that, PiTER with a solid hold now for picking up that double op. Zeus, though, is going to be able to find 1 more before he's shut down by Ubik. That's a very good hold that comes out there from PiTER. A lot of that, of course, coming off of the hands of JMQ with that double op kill right from the beginning. And although he did get killed, he was almost immediately traded out by the players from PiTER once again. So they maintained pretty good control of their player advantage for that entire round. Not a whole lot that was done by Na'Vi, unfortunately. to try and stop that, as they were stunned from the get-go. There was some good positioning that came out there from PiTER, but thankfully they've been winning plenty of rounds in a row here, so they've got a fairly strong economy built up. It's going to be enough for about like 1 to 2 bots here before they're forced to save. But they're going to take it very, very fast indeed. Seized already out from mid-con, working his way up there. The smokes come in there too, but FaceCrack shutting one down. He's going to be happy with this one, so he falls back, and the bomb goes down too, so the rotations are going to start to box these players in. It might be in Navi's best interest to fall back, but they're fully committed to this side as they push in, and now flash to hell too. They can't see anything. There's JMQ, picking up one up shot, looking for another one, but he's taken down there by Flamey. Picking up from the APC is going to be FaceCrack to try and spot somebody. He does pick up another kill there. That's a lucky headshot that he gets there over on Zeus, and then him, Waterfall, and Ubeak are going to finish things off, picking up the last final kills. Almost a team ace there, as FaceCrack did manage to end up sealing 2 away, but PiTER once again finding yet another round for themselves here, as they're getting that much closer to swinging it back. That about 6-round lead that Navi had has really started to dissipate at this point. Now we're getting it down to 4. Still a little bit more room to go before PiTER obviously back into this matchup, but these rounds are helping in a very big way, as they're also being very clean. Navi having a lot of trouble working their way in past these guns, and that round was just a straight... What the hell? How did Guardian hit those shots? Guardian brings Space down to just 4 HP. And now he can't peek this at all. He's going to be a dead man if he goes into a direct peek, because he's only 1 shot away with any gun, basically, from being eliminated. So, that's a very good pickup there from Guardian. And the best part about this is, like, Guardian doesn't even know this, and I think Space is aware of this too, which is why we still see him sort of jiggle peek in this corner a little bit. But Guardian, he's going to get a nice little surprise if he does come out through here to realize that, yeah, this guy's only got like 4 HP. I kind of destroyed him earlier. But he's not going to get that opportunity just yet, as he falls back way over here towards the balcony. And the rest of the take isn't even happening here too, just to note that. It's going to be Waterfalls first that picks up the first kill over there onto Edward, as the rest of Navi as well. A couple players are going to work towards drop. There's one on platform, and that's going to be Waterfall that just cleans it up. FaceCrack works his way back into here. He picks one up, and you can see C's trying to work for something, but he's going to have to regroup with Guardian to try and find anything. And of course, they're going to have to pick that bomb back up, but the smoke comes out. He's got a little bit of an angle to see past it, so he knows there at the very least shouldn't be anything on this platform. But there's JMQ, takes out one of the players. A shot from Waterfall is finally going to miss, and now C's has his bomb, and look at how low these players on the B site actually are at this point. They're very, very low. 3 of them are almost one-tappable from all the players here. He moves in, finds the first one, but he doesn't look behind him, and he doesn't see that there's a player, but he jumps out of that one, is able to escape it, but Vate comes in, picks up the second over here, going to try to shut down Space as well if he tries to peek him, but 15 seconds left, and he gets the nice shots over there on a JMQ as well. Goes in, that timer's way too low. He's got to go for this plant. He manages to connect it, but they're both going to push him at the same time. The op shot from JMQ not going to connect, as C sits behind. He finds one of them, and now he's just one-on-one. He's going to ace this. If he can clutch this, it's going to be a huge victory, and now he should easily swing back the lead at this point, but JMQ moving in, trades out that gun for an M4. C's knows his position, so he can hug the corner, and he's going to pick it up. An ace from C's, and Navi steal away another round, and that's a huge victory for him. 14-9 now, 2 rounds away, and for PiTER, unfortunately, although they pick up those 2 rounds, that money situation for them is going to get all that much worse. We can see a couple players still going to be able to go for those rifle buy-ups, and they will indeed do that, but in the case of Ubeak, along with Space, sort of, they're not going to be in too confident of a spot. Space, I think, gets tossed a gun. He's actually able to buy one up on his own, but there's no utility behind it. He gets the armor, no head armor though, and that's the same case for both Waterfalls and JMQ as well, so those guys are going to be glass cannons at this point. And for the rest of them, Ubeak stuck on a 5-7, nothing he can do. FaceCrack gets an M4, and you know, FaceCrack's one of the only players as well with a full nade setup here at this point, so it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough to say the least, and it's definitely looking good at Navi for this point, mainly off of the hands, of course, of that excellent ace to close things out in their favor with a potential scoreline of 16-9. But we will see, of course, because there is still 4 rifles in play here for the players. And JMQ, he's going to shut one down. Flamey, though, gets 2 responses almost immediately after that one. FaceCrack way out in the open. For some reason, Zeus is not able to spot him, so he picks up this kill, but almost immediately after that, Flamey again going absolutely crazy. Now, there's a 4th from him. Oh my goodness, Flamey just absolutely destroying it. His teammates don't even need to be here right now. He's just shutting everything down. And now it's going to be Ubeak that tries to move in here, trying to see if he can finish this one off. But he picks up a rifle at least, so I think now he might be trying to opt to save this one, as there's not really going to be a whole lot of money, but Guardian is going to take him out anyway. And with Flamey, of course, now getting his chance to shine, essentially. Already gave it to C's in the last round there, but now he gets a nice one there, moving in with a 4K. Guys, I got this. You can just sit back here, relax. You can drink a nice tea or whatever, and I'll manage this take. But as for PiTER at this point, they got no money. There's not a big buy that could come out from them. 5.7s. Heh. And a couple smokes here and there. They got armor buy-ups, but it's gonna be a gambit hold take here. They're putting 3 players. It's still a typical setup as far as it's concerned, but the odds are just not looking so good. Ubeak, though, pushes right into it. He gets 1, but that's immediately traded up by Flamey. It doesn't favor the players here on PiTER at all. They're gonna move in. Waterfalls is gonna be very close to them. Waterfalls also try to move in there to maybe pick up a gun, but He doesn't find one, and Seas is going to catch another one here too as he works his way in through drop there, coming out through the doors, and Flamey almost kills his teammate, I thought, but thankfully he's going to go down to an enemy there, and Edward also picks up that kill over there on the waterfall. And with that said, Flamey's also going to clean things up. So there we have it, guys. 16-9 is going to be the first map score here as we come to a close with it. And we'll be going over here to map 2 in just a few minutes. A good start from PiTER, but unfortunately the second half sort of fell flat a little bit there, and really only able to pick up those 2 rounds in between. The Navi's players just going absolutely crazy. Stat leader, of course, being Guardian here, and then we see Seized and Flamey right behind those two, as they also had some very, very impressive rounds. But again, guys, we'll be back with map number 2. Unfortunately, I don't know the map as of yet, but we'll find out very soon. So be sure to stick around, and the second map here in this set between Navi and PiTER is coming up in just a few moments.